Want to know how much it costs to attend Burning Man this year? Alright, let's go. Tickets were $575 and the vehicle pass was $160. Camp fees were $600 and included food, water, ice, shade structure, and power. We cook all our food in San Francisco, freeze it, and reheat it at Burning Man. The rental car was $300 and the gas was $80. Due to the mudpocalypse though, I had to extend the car for $300 more. I had costumes from previous years, but if you're new, expect to spend about $200 from local thrift shops. The bike rental was $120. You'll also need a tent, headlamp, air mattress, sleeping bag, pillow, bike lock, and a backpack. We had all these from previous years. The total was $1,800. It sounds like a lot, but it's totally worth it for a week-long experience.
Burning Man is supposed to be about freedom. No money, no status, and no judgment. Just community, art, and self-expression. But if that's true, why does it feel like one of the most exclusive experiences that you can have? When was the last time you met someone who has been to Burning Man recently? Welcome to Hey Kristen, a channel where we discuss social topics that affect you, me, and everyone in between. Feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. Burning Man has a reputation of being anti-capitalist, free-spirited, and completely different from real life. But people's experiences and what we see counter this. Let's start with the obvious. Burning Man isn't cheap. You're paying for tickets, travel, supplies, and time off from work. And this isn't just a casual trip, it's a full commitment, similar to Coachella. So already, not everyone can go.
Burning Man going from an escape of consumer capitalism to becoming dictated by the CEOs who created it will always be ironic to me. Burning Man is supposed to change your worldview after attending it, but these CEOs don't change at all. Take the example of Burning Man's board of directors. Kimball Musk, the brother of Elon Musk. He is on the board of directors, and Burning Man has scrubbed every mention of him on their website. He was one of the top donors of Burning Man in the 2020s during when they were closed. And when you think about it, he is the same guy that found his wife after meeting a guy that rhymes with Jeffrey Pepstein. And don't even get me started on the environmental impact. It is a travesty. Setting up a temporary airport for private jets is diabolical. Recreating American suburbia with 70,000 people out in the desert, burning up a lot of energy to get there, whether you're idling or flying in, is also diabolical. Many people will be using AC every day, which you wouldn't be if you weren't out in the middle of the desert in the first place. One of these would give me an ick, but all of these are a slap to the face towards the decommodification and self-reliance ethos of Burning Man. I'm making these videos because my Burning Man videos are going viral again, and I regret not making a stronger stance against it. I was a little bit too neutral. The 10 principles of Burning Man are dead within Burning Man itself. It's just a rich person's playground where companies like Google recruit their future CEOs. If you want to experience an actual burn, go to a regional burn.
This is how much I spent to attend Burning Man this year. I'm not ready for this. You don't realize how much you spent.
$4,000 is the answer if you don't want to watch the video. But wasn't Burning Man supposed to be like anti-consumerism and self-reliance? Like, what?
Burning Man promotes radical inclusion, community, and no status. How is this if people are showing up with RVs, full camps, and people hired to set up everything for them, while others are camping, struggling with the environment, and doing everything themselves? You can already see the division based on the setup. Burning Man 2025 wasn't just about art and vibes. People shared their experiences and thoughts on what happened, and it sounds like a lot happened last year. This includes massive dust storms that destroyed camps, long delays and gate closures, a homicide investigation after a death, and structures collapsing from strong extreme winds. And despite the quote-unquote leave no trace idea, thousands of pieces of debris remained.
So if I told you I was going to bring a bunch of artists and bohemians to the middle of the desert to create a temporary city, and I was going to make it a gift economy where no money can change hands and corporate sponsors and advertising aren't even allowed, you'd probably think that sounds like some sort of radical utopian leftist paradise. Of course, I'm talking about Burning Man, and the weird thing is that rich people, tech CEOs, a lot of conservatives like Grover Norquist, these people absolutely love going there and they love Burning Man. That's right, folks. It's Burning Man journalism season, and I've got one more big story I've just published in Jacobin about this big desert party and how and why it became a mainstay of the global party scene. It's called Burning Man's Gentrification Was Inevitable, and you can find it in Jacobin right now. So if you don't know much about Burning Man, almost everything about its design makes it sound like a socialist utopia. Everyone who comes is self-sufficient. guests build most of the infrastructure. It's not like Coachella or Woodstock where there's like beer and food stands and t-shirts for sale and stuff. It's managed by a nonprofit. You can't buy or sell things there, and there's no advertisements, there's no corporate sponsors. So it's kind of weird that this is something that the ruling class loves. Elon Musk is a huge fan. His brother, Kimball Musk, is literally on the board of the nonprofit that governs Burning Man. There's all kinds of startup deals that happen there. It's a huge thing for techies. There's even data that shows that over the years, the average income of attendees has gone up and up and up, and the proportion of lower income people has gone down. So what happened? Well, I've been reporting on Burning Man for years, ever since I went back in 2009, mainly because I think it's so odd that it seems kind of like a utopian political model, but it's kind of turned into Cannes or Art Basel. It's like a stop on the elite global party circuit. So my basic thesis is that anyone could have predicted this was going to happen from the start. Even though the concept of Burning Man seems kind of egalitarian in practice, if you have a blank slate to build a city on, of course the people with more means are going to be able to bring more. They can hire help, they can pay for more amenities, they can control the space more, and so on. That's what money does. So what happened to Burning Man over the years is that people with means took it over pretty easily and kind of made it into their own thing, because there's no democracy at its core. There's no democratic guarantee that everyone has an equal say in building the thing. And what's wilder about Burning Man is that for all its utopian principles, the way the festival operates is kind of like any evil corporation. So for this story, I interviewed workers and volunteers there, including one volunteer who was permanently blinded by a laser while she was volunteering there, like for life. She can't work anymore. And all that Burning Man ever gave her in compensation was like free tickets each year. She can never work again. Another worker I interviewed who worked there for almost a decade told me that they intentionally only hire their contractors for 6 months or less so that they don't have to give them benefits. And remember, this is like hard manual labor in a hot desert in the blazing sun. It's basically construction work. It's the kind of thing that you like probably need medical coverage for. You're really likely to get injured in the job. So if you've been to Burning Man over the years, I'd love to know what you've observed. What are your stereotypes? How has it changed? Like, is this a festival for the ruling class? Is there still a bohemian vibe there? And check out my article at the link there.
There's this idea that Burning Man is different than other festivals like Coachella, but if you really look at it, you still see the differences in status, influence, and access. People must remember that this is something that will never go away. Status and financial influence are real and will appear in most festivals and events. Over time, Burning Man built an identity of being outside the system, but the reality is it still reflects the same system. It's just repackaged with a vintage bow.
What actually happens inside Burning Man's infamous Origami Dome? You guys know I can't say the actual O word. Most people just hear that name and they start imagining like total chaos. I'm sure that you're curious, so let's deep dive together. The Origami Dome at Burning Man is actually one of the most consent-forward and structured play spaces in the United States. You can't just walk in alone. It's couples and groups only, so there's no solo wanderers allowed. And inside, I want you to think soft mattresses, lots of pillows, dim lighting, and they have free Safer Smex supplies like condoms, lubes, sanitizer, all of the things for safety. The dome is literally built for people to feel safe and comfortable in a setting like this. The thing that surprises the most people about the Origami Dome is that it's not just like some free-for-all. There's like these volunteers, these consent monitors, and they're making sure that people are consenting and that it's non-negotiable. So that means if it's not an enthusiastic yes, you don't move forward, period. There's no question. This has been a space that's actually been open since 2003. When you hear about the Origami Dome, it might sound crazy and wild, but really it's one of the most safest and intentional spaces to explore if you want to have that sort of connection at Burning Man. Would you go into the Origami Dome? Let me know in the comments.
Not be able to drive or ride our bikes anymore. So everyone's just walking from party to party. And yes, someone did die while they were out here. This is in fact a natural disaster. People are terrified.
Listen, I know people are absolutely coming after all these creators that went to Burning Man. Stay with me here. We've seen this video before, right? And I finally figured it out, okay? Tell me these videos don't radiate the same, like, people are dying, whatever energy.
Even if everybody gets it, like, yeah, people are gonna die. It's just terrible, but like, inevitable?
Tell me that wasn't the same video, right? Like, this is why I am so over all of these super out of touch, like, celebrities and content creators that will go to Burning Man and, like, cosplay poverty. And then when they actually, like, experience some sort of hardship or tragedy or whatever, they're like, oh, well, like, back to life. Like, what? What? People have died. Oh, and you're still partying? And then at the end, she just threw on like a little I'm grieving, so I get to do like whatever I want and don't like yell at me because of it. That's not how that works. This is the real world. Imagine the families that are actually grieving that see that video. And this is no tea or shade to that specific creator, because this is happening with so many of them on all these platforms. And it's why I'm just over like the Alex Earl, Kim Kardashian, whatever, and I think we need to push for more relatable, realistic content creators.
Do you think Burning Man is actually different than any other festival? If Burning Man was truly accessible, would it still feel exclusive? Let us know in the comments below. Burning Man is supposed to be different, but if you really look at it, it doesn't feel different at all. If you found this video insightful, you'll probably enjoy the one popping up on the screen now. See you in the next one.